Here, not for credit, of course, but you can have a lot of fun. I noticed even the Providence Plan is listed as a course you can take at the Learning Connection. I have no money coming from that, I want you to know. But we understand Fred Lippert teaches that. But he does, that's his thing. He does, he teaches it. We have something for Fred to do. Is he here? You're getting credit. But anyway, it's a pleasure to be here, Greg. You're a fellow Moses Brown fellow, and that's very important that you're here to do that. We recognize that. But I want to tell you that I once taught a course for the Learning Connection. It was eating pasta on Federal Hill. As you can tell, I gave up smoking, so I put about 15 pounds on. You should have a course, how to lose weight after you give up smoking. That might be a wonderful course for you to do. But it's wonderful to see so many WASPs and people from the East Side here at one of our distinguished gourmet restaurants here in the city of Providence and city of Johnston, town of Johnston, the 1025 Club. How many have been here before? How many have not been here before? This is a new experience for you. Have you had, I spent morning, have you ever had the breakfast here? Or the lunch, or the dinner? It's chicken, you can have chicken 15 different ways here. You can have chicken for breakfast, you can have chicken for lunch, you can have chicken for dinner. It's all different ways to have chicken here. And it's a wonderful place run by the McGarrys, has a great history. It's not too far from Silver Lake, for some of you from the East Side. I want to warn you, there is no water in Silver Lake. Silver Lake is a neighborhood with 3-decker houses here. We usually carry it by about 62% of the vote. They happen to all be waspy Italians that live there. But anyway, let me just say it's a pleasure to congratulate you because you have done something very, very important for our city. You have given people an opportunity to learn, given people an opportunity to digest, and just an opportunity to have fun. And I thought that I won the Ego Award, but anybody who passes pictures out like that to all his friends certainly is the man who I have to concede to. So 2 weeks is an election. I'm sure that there'll be more education money, because I understand I talked to someone in the White House today, and they told me that the fat lady is starting to goggle. So, which is the truth, by the way. So I'm sure you'll have you're surrounded by wonderful friends. You are the poor man's Johnson and Wales. We understand that sooner or later that you'll be teaching people all kinds of wonderful things for credit. And I want to be part of that. I'd like to teach a course on how to be mayor, how not to be mayor, and how to come back. That would be, yes. But it's a pleasure. Congratulations. I wish I had. Do we have a citation or anything for him? No. Not a big enough taxpayer. You have to reach a certain plateau, Greg, for that. But anyway, it's a pleasure to congratulate you and be here and bring greetings of all the 36% of the people who voted for me last election. How many here have taken courses at the Learning Connection? Yeah. How many? Why are the others here? It's also a reunion of Imperial Company, which is important. So congratulations, best wishes from all the people of the city of Providence, and we hope you continue with the great works that you do to provide educational opportunity and raise the fun level of the city and raise the intellectual capacity of all of us as we thrive to become better citizens, better Americans, and better Providentians. Where did I find that word? Right. But anyway, thank you all very much. Congratulations. I don't know what I'm here for, like Stockdale, but I'm here. All right. Good luck. Thank you very
much. Mayor, I should probably tell you the only one not clapping for you in the room is David Burnham, who's the headmaster of Moses Brown. He sees you, I, and the mayor as the 3 Moses Brown graduates. I think he's afraid that the enrollment in the school is going to go down after tonight.
Another big taxpayer.
Yeah. Well, finally, the people who are here to help tonight, the Learning Connection would like to say a little something about you. Kathy Brady Romanelli, the woman of two last names. I wish she'd pick one. It would be a lot easier on the phone messages, believe me, but she has decided not to do that. Is going to make the presentation. I am frankly impressed and thrilled to see that the Learning Connection is still in existence. Because the first year of the Learning Connection, I received a catalog from Greg. There were 8 or 9 courses or something like that. But the headline course, the big course, was Needlepoint with Jane Marcello. I am told that when they removed that course from the catalog, there was such a stampede to the Learning Connection offices that they had to move to Richmond Square, where they remain to this day. Yes, yes, great lady. I still want to be fed at your house, yes. I've learned. Kathy Brady Romanelli, the person with 2 last names, would like to say a final few things for Greg.
It's great to be here. I have a few things to return to Greg. I held Roy up one weekend while the Marcellos were away and went into their home. He didn't want to let me in, but I said I'm going to park my car here all night. So I want to first return your college yearbook.
All right.
Can go back on that very well-organized shelf. We also took a few photographs, which you'll see in the catalog. Those things, we were so organized when we broke in, we marked them with sticky notes so you know where to return them. I want to give you a few memories of Greg. I've been working with him at the Learning Connection for 7 years. The first time I saw Greg's handwriting, I was kind of shocked, and I thought, I'm not going to have a long career with this man. I actually saved my first memo, if anyone wants to take a look. Not only is it very interesting to look at, but you can, if you're visually impaired, you could read it by feeling the back, because the imprint goes right through. So I thought, well, maybe I don't have a long career, but if I get visually impaired, I could continue working at Learning Connection, because now I know how to read it by looking at it and by feeling it. But I want to give you a few things, because my comments about his handwriting were, they look like hieroglyphics. Was this man an ancient Egyptian? So we decided for your present tonight that we would send you a message in hieroglyphics. Now, I do have the code of this, but I'm going to give it to you and let you work on it for about as long as I worked on this first memo. The second thing that Greg is very well known for is his need for reports. And he likes to analyze all of this information, which I thought, why does he want all of this information? And why does he want to analyze this information? And he had this report that he loved. And when I came on board as a director 4 years ago, he said, remember that report? And I would say, yeah, I remember that report. And, you know, every 3 months, every 6 months, he'd say, remember that report that I used to like to see? And I'd say, Greg, I really don't have time to do this report. You know, why do you want this report? I give you the information. I just don't understand all of this information that you want to analyze down to the minute detail. Well, about 4 weeks ago, once again, the report was mentioned to me. And we're working on upgrading our computer system. And so I gave that job to the computer specialist. And Greg said to me, I'm going to cry when I see that report. Well, Greg, I don't want you to cry in front of 250 people, but I have a year's worth of reports there.
Bill Dreves, a lot of money here.
I want to call up the 2 women that I work with at the Learning Connection, Julie Borsier and Liz Allen. is my administrative assistant and the registrar. And Liz Allen is the program coordinator. And the three of us really do appreciate everything that Greg has done for us. We joke a lot about him getting up at 2:30 in the morning. And we always laugh at the faxes he sends over. These, I had a hard time reading when they would come over by delivery. I really have a hard time reading them now that they're faxed over. And being a nonprofit, our fax is not real up to date. But we want to give you this plaque tonight, and I'll read it. I was told by Roy that I had to be serious at the end, so I'm going to be serious. 1981 to 1992, The Learning Connection. Greg Marcello, for your tireless dedication to community service, for your inspiration and leadership, and for your friendship, we thank you. Liz, Julie, and Kathy.
Thank you.
Oh, man. All right. Good stuff.
It's just about time for you to have...
Go to bed.
Well, yeah. Well, if you get up...
I'm going to stop by
you know, if you-
cereal on the way back.
If you'd start working like your father, you wouldn't have to do this. I'm sorry, Commander, I couldn't resist. It's nice to see that the state of Rhode Island has more money than the city of Providence, because the good governor does have something for you. Sorry, Mayor.
Picked up one of those unsolved
The governor probably pay you. The state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, Office of the Governor of the State of Rhode Island proclamation. Whereas, on behalf of the citizens of the state of Rhode Island, I am pleased to join with all Rhode Islanders as we recognize Greg Marcello for his many accomplishments. And whereas Greg is a 15-year resident of Providence, a Moses Brown graduate, and is married to the beautiful Melinda, and whereas, this was the governor's idea, and whereas a major participant of many community projects, Greg has been very instrumental in teaching the Cub Scouts how to camp in the rain, and is a positive influence on the art of rope climbing, being a recent winner of the Survival Rope Climbing Merit Badge. And whereas Greg Marcello is the founder of the Learning Connection, a comprehensive adult learning program located in Providence, Rhode Island, and a wonderful source of enrichment since 1981. And whereas as governor, I am pleased to join with all Rhode Islanders in recognizing Greg Marcello for his outstanding abilities and commend his total involvement and contributions to community affairs. Now, therefore, I, Bruce Sunland, Governor of the State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, do hereby proclaim October 21st, 1992 as Greg Marcello Recognition Day. So... And before we let you have your crack at this, I just want to say on a personal note how wonderful it's been to know you for 23 years. I have enjoyed knowing every member of your family, especially your lovely wife, Melinda. I will say that I kid all my married friends about marrying above themselves. With Greg, I'm serious. Thanks for 23 years of wonderful friendship. It's been a joy. And now it's your turn to say whatever you would like. Greg Marcello, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to try my best. Thank you. All right. How did they get me here tonight? They told me that I was to prepare a very lengthy and detailed speech on the history of the Learning Connection. So I spent, like I do with most reports, hours, days, months preparing for tonight's presentation. So, of course, I am very disappointed that I will not be able to use this in my handwriting also. I really appreciate everybody coming tonight. All of my friends, not you, John, anymore. I appreciate you coming out tonight, and I appreciate your recognition. When we get together like this, we're really not just recognizing me, but we're recognizing all of you, because all of you are involved with me in one way or another and are doing great things, be it in business, be it in Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, education, whatever. We do it together. Some of the themes that are important to me and sort of drive me, one being community, the concept that when we do things, we do them together, we do them as a team, and we do them with goals that we're working on together. Another thing that's important to me is empowerment. The ability to let all those people who work with me or alongside me to do what they're capable of doing. It's very easy for one person or two people to run around and do a lot of stuff. It's incredible when you got 250 or more people running around doing a lot of stuff. And you can see the great things that have come out of that, because all these things that people have kidded me about, unfortunately, and what things that people have commented on tonight are things that I have not done alone. I've done them with all of you. So those are very important to me, and I see those as themes for the future. It takes education to make that happen. And education isn't just going to school. That's what the Learning Connection is all about. The Learning Connection is about learning in very informal environments, learning with friends, and being at the same time understanding that you are a learner, but you are also a person who can teach. So often we don't look at ourselves as being capable of doing things or offering things to other people. Well, we all are. Everyone here has offered something to somebody else, and that's teaching. And that's what the Learning Connection is all about. And education is how we get better and we're able to do things better. That's my soapbox. Now, I have to say a few thank yous, and I know I'm not going to get them all right, and I know I'm going to get confused, but let me do my best. Certainly, I have to thank my parents. I think primarily because they have offered a tremendous amount of support to me over the years. I know that from time to time they've thought I was a little crazy, just a little, that some of the things that I've said or some of the things that I've wanted to do are a little offbeat. But what I've appreciated, and I think is just an incredible statement to them, is their support, allowing me to continue to do those things, and when I fail, but when I succeed, recognizing that. I'd like to thank my brother. He kidded up here earlier about my role in leadership in the family, but Keith has certainly proven to me, and I know proven to those who he's worked along with, that he too is a proven leader. And he is someone that I am very, very proud of in what he's done, and it's made my life much easier. My wife, or my partner, or whatever we're doing, and it's not this kid Julie everyone talks about. The support that Melinda has given me, the way she has tempered me when I sometimes go a little overboard, how she sneaks in at night and changes the alarm on the clock so that it goes off a little later, and that all the help. We look at the adult education programs, and there's some people here who were involved in the first one, the Free School of Clinton. Melinda was involved in that. Debbie Block, who was here, was involved in that, and that was our first shot at doing that. And that was back in 73, 74 when we started that. And that's something that fed into what we're doing now. Certainly my boys, who are an inspiration to me, I'm very proud of, and a lot of the things that all of us do, we do for our families, and that's very important. My Cub Scout crew, who I do my best with, my Boy Scout troop, who I'm trustworthy all the way through Reverend, and I'm every one of those, you guys. And also, when I talk about those two groups, there are boys who I am very proud of. I really never thought that these guys could do some of the things they do and take on some of the responsibilities they take on. We all laughed earlier tonight with that presentation. Do you think a lot of us could have done what they did? That takes skill. That takes a lot of hard work, even in humor. and the ability to do that, I'm very proud of. But I'm also proud of the adults I work with. And I'm proud of how they've supported me and worked along with me to help get things done, because we have 2 fantastic programs. Spirit has been a challenge to me because it's really taught me that everyone needs more than one chance. And Spirit has shown that every person can do something. Every person has the capability to better themselves. And I think it zeroes in on another theme that's very important to me, and that's the theme that everybody has something good in them. My Quaker background is that everybody has a bit of God in them. Well, everybody has something good. Everybody's going to do something positive. And it takes other people working along with them to bring that out. And so Spirit has allowed me to learn that and understand that better. Learning Resources Network has taught me how to try to start a business. Even though it was a nonprofit business, we tried to run it like a business when we were running it. And I've been doing that for over 12 years as a president, and I learned a tremendous amount of things doing that. And being able to meet the people around the country that I've been able to meet. It touches me having Bill and Rick here, coming here to be with us tonight. That's a tremendous token of respect from them, and I'm very proud of that. The Learning Connection, I don't know much more I can say about the Learning Connection except that you're looked at 3 people up here. Those 3 people run a program that puts out, not as good as the catalog that came out tonight, the Marcello Connection, but they put out 6 catalogs like that every year, and they register over 10,000 people. That's 3 people who coordinate over 200 classes a term, register 10,000 people during the year, and are classes that reach out throughout the whole state. And it's a tremendous job they've done with that. And Kathy in particular, I'm sure, put a little bit of time into tonight. And her husband will be very happy to have her back probably after this, all the time she's put in. Kathy has taken the Learning Connection in the last 5 years and really organized it and driven it forward. That guy who was dancing around here earlier, Roy is a prime example to me, again, that everyone can learn, everyone can better themselves. Roy started at Imperial at 16 years old. He was Bob's nephew, right? He was his uncle, whatever you called yourself. But he was on the soldering bench. He started there, and at this point has been there, how many years now, Roy? 6 years?
Going on my 8th.
Going on your 8th year. Still don't get 3 weeks yet, right? But Roy has worked very hard to better his skills, be it at different things people have taught him throughout the factory or even outside of the factory, taking classes, learning how to interact with people, learning how to communicate, which is a tremendous skill. Very proud of him, and I know you had a little bit to do with tonight because I didn't see you for the last 2 weeks. One other group, which is probably the majority group here right now, is my family from Imperial Pearl. I've been working at Imperial Pearl now since 1977. And through those years, I've met a lot of people there, and I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned a lot about how to do things and how to work with people. Every day for me, I'm learning something new at Imperial. The people I work with there are wonderful. I mean, this group that, well, they look pretty much like me as they went across, are people who have dedicated themselves to our company. And in these days and times, that's sometimes hard to see. People who come to work, and I don't think are coming in just to get a paycheck, but are coming into work to make the company a better company. And we've all been working hard to try to do that. And although I know there's a lot of heartache at times and a lot of headaches at times and a lot of confusion, the strides that we've made together are, I think, enormous. And I do agree that as we look at ourselves 10 years from now and compare ourselves to other businesses and compare ourselves to other jewelry businesses and other manufacturing businesses out there, we're going to realize that we're one of, if not the top business, because of the things that we're trying to do now to make ourselves better 10 years from now. And that's the forward thinking that we have to have. It's sacrifice, it's hard work, but it pays off in the end. In particular, at Imperial Pearl, there's one person who I have to make mention to, who has been a guiding light for me. I think most people who know me, I think it was mentioned that I tend to be a little quiet, know me that my style is not one of authority. My style is one more of teamwork. But at the same time, it's important in an organization that there's a balance. And I would just tonight like to recognize Ernie DeCesare, who has worked with me over the years I've been here. Here's a person who had worked at Imperial at that point, well, it's probably 35 years then now, just like it's 35 now. Ernie's been there forever. But had worked at the company under my grandfather, under my father, and now under me. And that's a tough transition to go through and make those different changes. And I have a tremendous respect for him and the changes that he's made in order to support the things that I've tried to do. Because if I didn't have his support, we certainly wouldn't have done half of the things that we've done at Imperial Pearl so far. Otherwise, what can I say except that it's been a fantastic evening. I appreciate you all coming. I hope you've had a good time at my expense and not at my expense. Every one of you are special to me in a different way. And I look forward to continuing to work with you and continuing to interact with you and continuing to improve the lives of the people we touch. Because each of us is not going to go out and change the world. But each of us are going to have an effect on somebody and make someone's life a little bit better. And if everyone's life gets a little bit better, then all our lives are going to get a lot better. And I know we can do it. And I was just thinking, I'm 37 and a half years old, so I'll be back here in 37 and a half more years, and we can recognize what happened during that next group of years, and what kind of successes we've had, and what kind of positive effects we've had in the state of Rhode Island and the outside community. So thank you for coming. You all who performed did a wonderful job. It is on tape now, so I will use that by splicing it and sending it to the appropriate places so that all of you are now recorded for history. Have a great evening. Thank you very, very much.